Okay, welcome back to what's possibly the greatest Tanya share of all time. No guarantees. And we're in the middle of Perek Gimel, and today we're learning about how to be a Kabbalistic fireman, which is one of my favorite professions. When you grow up, when Label was growing up, did you ever want to be a fireman when you were a kid?
My daddy's a fire truck.
You probably want to be a fireman. And when Yehuda grew up, did you ever want to be a Kabbalist? Maybe yes, maybe no. But if you put them both together, you want to be a Kabbalistic fireman, and that's what we're going to be learning about today. So first we have to learn what's fire and what's water, and then we'll know how to be a fireman. And to know this, you have to look back in the statement of the Zohar that it says, "Im Rotzo V'Shov shuv le'echad." If your heart runs, return to one. It sounds like a bit of a poem. If your heart runs, return to one. It's very Kabbalistic. What does that mean? So to understand what it means, if your heart runs, return to one, and what's fire and what's water, we're going to have to discuss the following story. That Reb Hendel Lieberman was a great Yid. Why is he so great? Because he survived the Holocaust. And nevertheless, he came out and was a frum Yid, which is an incredible thing. And he was a chassid. And not only was he a chassid, he was also very talented because he was an artist. So he came past the Rebbe. Now, the poor man had a bit of a broken heart because of the travels and tribulations that him and his family had gone throughout the Holocaust. He comes past the Rebbe, and the Rebbe loved to uplift Reb Hendel. So the Rebbe told him, Hendel, draw me a picture of Ufaratzo. What's Ufaratzo? Ufaratzo is the Rebbe's rallying cry. It means, it's the words of the apostle, Ufaratzo, Yom V'Kem Tzvein Negba, you should spread out to the north, south, east, and west. It means you should spread out. So the Rebbe was telling everyone to spread goodness, kindness, the teachings of Chassidus and the coming of Mashiach all over the world. So Hendel Lieberman was a very smart man. And instead of saying, yeah, and drawing what he thought Ufaratzo looks like, he asked the Rebbe, what does Ufaratzo look like? Now he gets to find out what the Rebbe thinks Ufaratzo looks like. So you ready for the Rebbe's artistic? How often do you have a Rebbe who describes something in artistic language? Not very often. How many times do you have a Rebbe who's an artist? The Rebbe Ma'arash, it was known, is very good with his hands, and his doctor told him he has to do fine motor activities, so he had craftsmanship. He made a very ornate table. It was actually in our Rebbe's office. He made several other things. He wrote a Megillah. That's what all the Lubavitch Megillahs are based on, is the format, because Megillah, you don't have to have a specific format for how you write it. Some people have the minhag to start off every column with the word Hamelech, so the Rebbe Marash didn't do it like that. Fine. So we go back to the Rebbe telling him, what does Ufaratzo look like? What does it look like to spread out goodness, kindness, godliness to the whole world? The Rebbe began to describe in artistic terms. Imagine you have a river, a strong, powerful, healthy, flowing river with the water barging through it. And this river is going through a field, and the water is so plentiful that it overflows from the river. It goes over the riverbanks and spreads out into the fields, providing water for not only the field, but all the trees in the field, which therefore grow fruit, which are good for all people. And as the Rebbe is describing this river and its strength and its spreading and how it's going across to all places, the Rebbe says, but at the end of the river, you need a dam. What's a dam? A dam is, if you're a beaver or a construction worker, you know, the dam is what you build at the end of the river to control the river, to only let out as much water as you want let out. So the Rebbe says this strong, powerful flow, the energy of the river still has to be controlled with a dam. So this is an unbelievable lesson. What does it mean to spread out, to give, to go outwards? You go on the street and you're like, okay, how am I going to make this world a better place? You have to have all the energy, the passion, the strength of the flowing river, but you also have to have a dam to direct it. You can't go over the top. You can't direct your energy in the wrong places at the wrong time. So this is what the Rebbe was teaching Hendel Lieberman. This is what it means when you have fire and water. That fire is raging and excited and heated up. And it comes from the heart. As opposed to water, it's cool. It comes from the mind. You ever told someone told you to be cool-headed? You have to be cool-headed. There's a reason why the cool is from the head. As opposed to someone tells you that my heart is pumping. I'm feeling, what's a good expression for your heart's on fire? I think that is a thing, your heart's on fire, no? So,
You have the emoji.
You have the emoji of a heart being on fire. Exactly. We have an emoji like that. Can we get an emoji up here? Yeah, maybe someone in my editing team will put it up. If I had an editing team, maybe. Anyways, so, same thing. If your heart runs, return to one. That everyone here is dealing with being pulled in two directions. You're being pulled in two directions. You ever seen the picture of jeans? The original jeans company has their logo. There's a pair of pants being pulled by two horses. Because the guy who made denim, he tested it to show everyone how strong it was. He made a pair of pants out of it, and he got 2 horses tied to each side, and he whipped the horses, and they couldn't tear it apart. So everyone's being pulled in 2 directions. Everyone comes down to this world with a mission. Hashem sends your neshama down here to do something, to accomplish something, to make the world a better place, a more godly place, a place ready for Mashiach. And every person has their own family, their friends, their relatives, their country, their town, their community, their sphere of influence where they can make a difference and decide through their actions whether their part of the world is going to be a better place or a worse place. A place where Hashem is more revealed or a place where Hashem is more hidden. Through your actions, the more Torah, mitzvahs, and goodness you do in your area, the more of an uplifted, Mashiach-ready place it is. And the opposite is the opposite. So here's the thing. While you have that mission, so your neshama has to be down here, the neshama the whole time, like we explained, is like a fire. That it's flaming and wants to get up towards Hashem. The neshama is constantly trying to go upwards. It's trying to get away from this world. It's trying to reattach to Hashem. Nebuch, the poor neshama, was once under Hashem's throne of glory, Tachas Kitzei Kavod, and now it's down in the world where all anyone cares about is politics and sports, and beer, and chips, and hot sauce potato chips. It's so sad for the neshama. So the neshama's stuck. It always wants so much to just leave this world and go back to Hashem and be spiritual. On the other hand, it knows it has a mission to do in this world. It's here for a reason. It has a purpose. That's what it means. When your heart runs, return to one. When your heart's running, when you're getting excited, like fire, and you're trying to get up, and your neshama just wants to leave this world and be connected to Hashem, you have to return to one. You have to remember the oneness, the unity. There's no other from Hashem. Hashem is here with us. Hashem's holding our hand here, and we're on a mission from Him. That's what it means to be a Kabbalistic fireman. Every time you get flamed, we need to be flamed up. If we forget about Hashem, then we're not going to do our mission. So every day we're davening and we're thinking about Hashem with our binah. We're getting down and dirty and really concentrating on how Hashem is everything. And then you really just want to expire. You want to go back to Hashem. At that point, shuv le'echad. You have to use your chachma from your mind, which is compared to water. You have to say, okay, we're going to have to cool down. Not because the fire is a bad thing. The fire is amazing. But we have to realize this fire has to be implemented in the world, just like the raging river in the Rebbe's artwork, that you can't just have a river spreading everywhere. You need all that passion of your raging river, but you have to invest it in your mission in this world. You have to invest that in doing good things in your area, in your community, in learning Torah, and doing mitzvahs, in helping an old lady cross the street. Why is that always the example of a mitzvah? By the way, it's the most random thing. I've never had the opportunity to do such a mitzvah, is helping an old lady cross the street. Maybe my grandmother, but anyways, so what's the point over here? The point is that Chokhmah and Binah work in tandem. Chokhmah is just the truth, the way it is. Binah is the way I understand it down here. So the more I'm realizing that Hashem is great, and I'm part of Hashem, and I want to be connected to Hashem, the more I want to leave the world. As opposed to Chokhmah, it's just the truth is, I need to be down here. And Hashem is with me down here.